Let's do your first postpartum workout back into the gym together. This would be when you are cleared by your doctor, usually at that 6-week mark. I'm hoping that you have already done some core and pelvic floor rehab, reconnection, and movement before you start this workout. And it's directly from my fitness app because I have a fitness app for women and moms. I have prenatal programming, postpartum programming, and just regular programming. As a pre and postnatal fitness coach, I want you to make sure that you start with the foundation work first before you jump back into exercise. So this will be your first postpartum return to fitness exercise. So you have the rehab portion, then you have the return to fitness. We're just gonna do one set each. We're gonna do it together. So first and foremost, you're gonna come down in a quadruped position. I'm wearing sweatpants right now. It is what it is. Hip cars, so you're gonna bring it up into like a glute bridge, come to the side and down. Then you'll come bring it out the other way and down. We're just gonna do, let's just do like 4 each side. And this will be really dependent on your fitness level. If you only want to do 2 per side, you adjust it to your own fitness level. With anyone's fitness app that you're doing, you need to adjust it based on your own level because everyone's at a different level. All right, now let's switch sides. You're bring your leg back. I hope I just don't run out of storage because that's the story of my life. I probably need a new phone with bigger storage, but 2, bring it back out. Let's just do one more on this side. Okay, now we're gonna stay in that quadruped position and we will move into a cat-cow. Exhale, inhale like this, and exhale. Now this again will also be different. If you had a C-section, you're gonna be on a longer recovery time. And this can be part of scar mobilization, but it's gonna look different and be at a different timeline. So again, you really have to assess yourself and see where you're at. If you can only go here, that's fine. And if you wanna completely do something else, that's also fine. Okay, moving in, we're gonna grab a light band. It's like a 3-way pull apart because that way you can also do a light deep core connection breath while you're doing it. If you don't have a band, you can go ahead and just do like these lat stretches, or you can do an open book on each side. But we'll do about 3 band pull aparts. So deep breath, inhale, sit back down. 2, and we'll do one more. Go back, diagonal, and diagonal. Great. Now I want you guys to do we'll move into a hip airplane. This is the last mobility warm-up move, and we'll just do an assisted. So there's again, since this is the first postpartum workout, we'll just do it here. You're gonna be in a light lunge position. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep this leg straight and you will do that internal rotation and then come out. And again, this is gonna be working on stability as well as that hip. Internal rotation to external rotation. We'll just do one more. You can feel free to definitely hold on to something as well. So again, the movement, let's move into the next side. You're gonna keep that leg straight, slightly bent, internal rotation, and twist. So you can see that my leg does not move. I am twisting at the hip to do that hip airplane. Because if you do a normal hip airplane, you're here and you're going in and then you're completely turning sideways. And that's what we're working up to. So let's just do 2 more here. Good. Okay, so that was the mobility warm-up section. And moving into the core and pelvic floor section of the workout, this is the most important part because we're focusing on, again, rehabbing and reconnecting. So we'll do this before we do our actual banded / body weight workout. I want you to grab a Pilates ball. If you don't have this, you can also use a pillow. or something to add that resistance. If you don't have it, I'll show you modifications as well. I'm gonna have you guys start in a quadruped position again, and we're just gonna do a bird dog. If you've already been doing this and you want to add a band, you can, because like I said, if you have been doing that postpartum progression and you get to this, you might be ready to add a band. If you're not ready to add a band, we're gonna do it without a band. So you're gonna do that deep core connection breath first. Exhale, you're going to connect to that core, gently lift that pelvic floor, and move into here. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. And what you're doing is you're breathing through that brace. Exhale. You can go as slow as you need. We're really focusing, like I said, on reconnection. Postpartum, you're going slow in the beginning. I think most people do their movements too fast anyway, in my opinion. Just do 2 more. Make sure you're not overextending. You're keeping your spine more in the neutral position, and come down. Heel drops with a ball press. So you're gonna come on your back, and as you will do that deep core connection breath first, we will be keeping our core engaged, breathing through the brace. We'll lift a knee, and as you lift, you'll also be squeezing a ball. That adds in an extra resistance and helps us reconnect to our core. Let's go ahead and do that deep core connection breath. Lead with that pelvic floor. You'll see how I'm just here. My ribs are flared, my back is arched, and then I do that connection breath. Okay, you ready? Okay, and then we're gonna do lift and squeeze. Inhale. You're gonna keep it really steady. You're gonna keep your core steady. You're gonna keep those ribs stacked and down, but hopefully you're also feeling it in that lower abdominal region as well. We'll do 2 more. Let's actually do 2 more. Good, 1 more. I want you to do the audible exhale as well, like you hear me doing as you're breathing. That will help you. If you're newly postpartum, I would maybe roll to the side to come up. We're gonna do a side hip abduction with a ball squeeze in our adductors, because our inner thighs are just as important. They're BFFs to our pelvic floor. It helps us reconnect and strengthen. So you will be finding a good position for yourself, and then you'll do that deep core connection breath. Come up, squeeze the ball. You can also do this without the ball. If you feel better on your hand, you can do that as well. That's a bigger range of motion though. Shoulders under, or sorry, your elbows under your shoulder. We'll do 2 more. Last one. Good. On the side of the obliques, come on to the other side. Connection. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. I actually feel a little bit better with my knees back a little bit more. Mine were a little bit too far forward the last time. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, exhale, 2, and 1. Good. Now we're going to come again on our hands and knees, and we will be doing just a bear plank lift. And if you add that ball in the inner thighs, that adds that extra resistance and helps you recruit your pelvic floor a little bit more. So you'll be taking an inhale, engage that core, lift and squeeze, come down. Inhale, exhale, lift and squeeze, and down. And this can be a very tiny movement. Like you can come off the floor this much. The higher you come, obviously, the more difficult it is. Let's do 3 more. Inhale. Audible exhale. 2. Last one. And good. The strength portion, and what you're gonna be doing is you'll either grab a band or body weight or very light dumbbells. Again, postpartum is all about progression. This is your first workout back, so take it easy. And I have it in my program that you're only doing 1 set of each so that we can focus on that progression. We're just gonna be doing a glute bridge with a band pull apart. To also engage that core, stack your ribs, take an inhale, on the exhale, hit a glute bridge and pull apart that band. And when you come down, don't get out of alignment again and flare your ribs. Try to keep it lightly engaged. So this is not only working your glutes, but it is also working your core. If you keep that core engaged, you keep those ribs down, the band adds some resistance. If you want to take it up a notch, you can add a band around your knees. But again, this is the first workout. It should be the first workout back. So many people forget about how important our glutes are. You always see people say, oh, pelvic floor work, and it's all just a bunch of deep core work. That's great and all, but your pelvic floor is actually recruited in so many different ways. Lunges, squats, it's recruited through all of those movements. 2 more. Last one. Hold at the top and release. Nice job. On stability, we're gonna be doing a single leg hamstring reach back. So you're gonna be standing in a position and keep your toe on the ground, what I mean. And you'll just come forward, kind of hit like a Romanian deadlift position. Stability again, if you want to lift up that leg, that's taking it to the next level. But you're just gonna be focusing on hitting that hinging motion. I am well over a year postpartum, so go at your own pace. We're working that hamstring. Again, lightly, use that hamstring to lift you back up. This is also a great at-home hamstring workout. We'll do 2 more. You're keeping that core engaged as well. Last one. Good. Now you're gonna switch sides. And again, reach back. Use that hamstring to lift you back up. Back. You can keep that toe down for stability, extra stabilization. And up. Good. Do 3 more. 2. And last one. Okay. A reverse lunge with a band row. You can also just do this without a band row if you don't have it, but this is going to be working your your posterior sling, which pelvic stabilization of the pelvis. Okay, so you'll be doing a reverse lunge, add in that internal rotation, and lunge with your right arm. First lunge, 2, just do 6, 5, and 6. Good. And next side, reverse lunge, internal rotation, and row. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Perfect. So that's a pelvic stability and lower body and upper body movement. Upper body, you can do this with a band or light dumbbells. If you don't have either of these, then you can just skip it. What I want you to do also is to engage your core, stack your ribs, and keep it like that. So you don't want to be over flared or arching up in the position. 2, 3, exhale, inhale on the way down. Exhale on the way up. Your knees are slightly bent. 4, 5, 6. 2 more. 7 and 8. Perfect. And then last exercise, you'll a tall kneel to a band row. So you'll be starting on your knees, and then what I want you to do is you're gonna hold the band like this on both arms. You see it? You'll do a knee up squat, come up and row. I just want you to do 6. So now let's do the other leg first. Switch legs. 2, 3. And remember what I said, squats, lunges, all of those recruit the pelvic floor even better than Kegels. So you're not gonna see me teaching, oh, let's just do our Kegel. Like, yes, you wanna do that small pelvic lift. One more with your deep core connection breath. But your pelvic floor does what it needs to do. And in postpartum, that's what we talk about reconnecting, is reminding your pelvic floor like, hey, you got this, you can do this on your own, right? So as you progress, your pelvic floor recruits on its own, and you don't need to think about it as much. You don't need to think, okay, lift the pelvic floor. You only do that in that postpartum stage. If you don't have time for this, because I know you're a busy ass mom, and I'm sure your kid, like, who knows if they're even asleep right now, you'll just do light pelvic floor relaxation. You can also do this later in the day if you want to do it before bed. Just gonna hit right now a adductor rock back, and then you'll add in a thoracic twist, or I do the other side. Let's just do the rock backs first. The reason why I add in pelvic floor in the postpartum workout, pelvic floor relaxation in the postpartum workouts, is because a lot of pelvic floor issues can come from, let's just do 2 more, a pelvic floor that's too tight. And after we've just worked our pelvic floor, right, we focused on strengthening it, you also need to know, which side am I going? This adds in an extra adductor stretch. So it's really just whatever feels good for you, honestly. But we are focusing on relaxing that pelvic floor because we want to make sure we're doing both. We don't want to have a pelvic floor that's too tight, and we don't want to have a pelvic floor that's too weak. And a lot of those symptoms can be very, very similar. Next thing is, if you have a yoga block, where the hell are my yoga blocks? My husband steals mine, my kids steal mine. I use this little riser thing, even though it's huge. I'm gonna do this to do a hip shift. Just lean into that hip and breathe. You can also do these. We did these a lot for labor prep, but you can just sit here and move to the other side. I'm going to rock back and forth a little bit. A lot of this postpartum movement is, yes, setting the foundation, but also what feels good to you. This is so high. I would not suggest getting something this high for these pelvic tilts, but it is what it is. Cool. And then the last thing is, if you have like a Swiss ball, you can do a raised child's pose, but just hitting a child's pose and breathing. You can also do it like this, just kind of like a half inversion. Perfect. And that is an example of the first postpartum workout back. And what I have too is I give you guys options. If you want to do half of the workout, that is fine. There is not like a set, here's the thing. Like I said, everyone has different recoveries. Everyone has different feelings postpartum. Everyone feels a different way. So you make the program work for you. If you want to just do 2 warm-up exercises, just do 2 warm-up exercises. If you want to do 5 reps each, do 5 reps each. What I want you to do is meet yourself where you're at. Write that down. Write down what you're doing. Like, hey, I did 5 reps of body weight. And what you want to see is that progression over time. The progression in strength, the progression in sets, the progression in reps. And the first workouts back is just really easing back into it. I want you to go slow. I want you to see how you feel and slowly work your way up. But you freaking got this. I'm so proud of you for taking time for yourself today, however that might have looked. And thanks for letting me guide you through that.